Oh!
Sydney, December 14th. A religious ceremony at Bondi Beach, a place normally associated with sunshine, ocean waves, and tourists, turned into a blood-soaked crime scene. Gunshots rang out in the middle of a Jewish holiday celebration. People panicked and fled in all directions. Within moments, Sydney's most crowded beach descended into chaos. An unprecedented tragedy for one of the world's safest countries. Australian authorities confirmed that 16 people were killed, including one of the gunmen, and approximately 30 others were injured. Police stated that this was not a random incident, but a deliberate targeted attack. It is being described as the deadliest mass shooting in Australia in the past 30 years. The investigation is ongoing, while the nation remains in shock, grappling with an unanswered question: how could a day of celebration end in such devastation? As crowds gathered to celebrate Hanukkah, a sacred holiday for the Jewish community, two men carrying firearms suddenly opened fire. Approximately 50 rounds were discharged in a short period of time. Screams echoed throughout the area. People fled in desperation. Videos from the scene show dozens of victims collapsing, some lying motionless on the ground amid chaos and bloodshed. Within minutes, a religious celebration had turned into an irreversible tragedy. According to police, 40 people were transported to hospitals following the attack. Among them were two police officers who sustained serious injuries. They remain in critical but stable condition. The victims ranged in age from a 10-year-old child to an 87-year-old elderly person, a grim indication that no one was spared in the attack. Police have not officially released the identities of the gunmen. However, they confirmed that the father held a valid firearms license since 2015 and legally owned 6 registered weapons. Authorities also revealed that one of the suspects had previously appeared on a security monitoring list, but was not assessed as an imminent threat prior to the attack. Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke stated that the father arrived in Australia in 1998 on a student visa, while the son is an Australian citizen who was born and raised in the country. Police have not disclosed specific details about the weapons used. However, footage from the scene appears to show the two men firing a manually operated rifle and a shotgun. These images have become a central focus of the investigation as authorities work to determine how the weapons were brought to the site and why no warning signs were triggered beforehand. Australia's national broadcaster ABC News reported, without citing sources, that 2 Islamic State flags were found inside the attacker's vehicle. This information immediately altered the nature of the case, forcing authorities to consider the possibility of an extremist motive behind the shooting. Meanwhile, the Bondi tragedy has ignited a nationwide debate. Whether Australia's gun control laws, widely regarded as among the strictest in the world, remain sufficient to prevent such attacks in the current security environment. The debate is spreading rapidly, balancing security, the law, and the vulnerabilities exposed by this bloody shooting.
Albanese must not say this is bad for Australia. It's bad for the Australian Jews. Where are you? Where are you? What have you done? Where have you been? Enough's enough. Please, we Australians, we're proud Australians, and to have our government do that, I've got no faith in this country anymore. Down my road, this can happen down my road, where I come every day and walk my dog and my children. It's just a complete disgrace.
According to witnesses, the attack at Bondi Beach, packed with people on a hot weekend evening, lasted approximately 10 minutes.
The pavilion, and then shots just started ringing out. Everyone thought it was fireworks. After about 4 or 5 shots, I realized it started registering that that's not fireworks.
We ran all the way down to the grass area where the gym was, and it was just full of blood. It was just people lying on the floor, and everyone was coming together, just moving bodies. Sadly, I didn't want to talk about it. I think we're going to look at this, and we can only move forward. It's just the Australian spirit. But I think if we all lift each other up together as a community, we all shoulder to shoulder help each other all out, I think we can go way more than this and look past this.
In that brief span, nearly 1,000 people attending the Hanukkah celebration were forced to flee in panic, running across the sand and spilling into surrounding streets in fear and desperation. What had been a joyful gathering became a mass survival escape in the heart of one of Sydney's busiest locations. Amid the chaos, a bystander rushed forward, subdued one of the active shooters, and disarmed him. The moment was captured on video. Australian authorities and media outlets have hailed the individual as a hero, stating that his actions likely saved many lives during those critical moments. The instant the first shots were fired, the man charged forward, grabbing the gunman's wrist. The two struggled violently amid the panicked crowd. Seconds later, the man wrenched the weapon away and forced the suspect to the ground. He aimed the gun at the attacker, but did not pull the trigger. Instead, he held the weapon, restrained the suspect, and issued threats until the situation was brought under control. A split-second decision, one that may have prevented many more shots from being fired. The gunman then retreated toward his accomplice, who was standing on a bridge and exchanging fire with police. The man did not pursue him. He held his position and clearly signaled to officers that he posed no threat. Then came a decisive action. He placed the firearm against a tree, moved out of the line of fire, and deliberately took cover while waiting for law enforcement to approach. No panic, no unnecessary movement, just calm, calculated decisions in a moment where a single mistake could have cost a life. 7 News Australia identified the man as Ahmed Al-Ahmed, 43, the owner of a fruit shop. According to his family, he was struck by 2 bullets and underwent surgery following the attack. A civilian, no body armor, no weapon, yet he stepped forward at the precise moment when everyone else was trying to escape. Australian media outlets have widely praised his courageous actions, hailing him as a hero. News organizations stated that his attempt to disarm the gunman during those chaotic moments saved numerous lives, especially as both suspects had not yet been fully neutralized by police. In that dangerous gap, one decisive act made the difference. Preliminary findings indicate that at least 2 gunmen were directly involved in the attack. However, Australian authorities have not ruled out the possibility of a third suspect, believed to be connected and actively sought in the hours following the massacre. The investigation remains open, and a critical question remains unanswered. Have all those involved truly been neutralized? One of the suspects has been identified as Naveed Akram, approximately 25 years old, residing in Bonnyrigg in southwest Sydney. Authorities have not confirmed whether Akram was the gunman fatally shot at the scene or a suspect who was seriously wounded and taken into custody. Just hours after the attack, police searched Akram's residence as part of the ongoing investigation. On social media, his name has surfaced in accounts reportedly linked to a young man who previously attended an Islamic school in the city, information that authorities are currently verifying. The investigation continues, and the suspect's precise role in the massacre has yet to be clarified. The attackers are believed to possibly hold Pakistani nationality. However, Australian authorities have not issued any official confirmation regarding their citizenship. The identities and nationalities of the victims have also not been released as verification efforts continue. According to information leaked through diplomatic channels, no Italian nationals have been linked to the incident so far, and the Italian consulate stated it has received no reports involving its citizens. The investigation remains open, and all details related to identity and nationality are being treated as sensitive and will only be disclosed upon official confirmation by authorities. The shooting on Sunday is considered the most serious incident in a wave of anti-Semitic attacks in Australia, targeting synagogues, buildings, and private vehicles, since Israel launched its military campaign in Gaza in October 2023. Amid rising tensions, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated that he had previously warned Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese that Canberra's support for an independent Palestinian state could fuel anti-Semitism domestically.
في 7 أكتوبر شن حماس الهجوم الأقصى على اليهود منذ المحرقة. ذبحوا 1200 شخص بريء. قطعوا رؤوس رجال واغتصبوا نساء. أحرقوا أطفالاً ردعاً أحياءً.
Earlier in August, Australia accused Iran of being behind at least 2 anti-Semitic attacks and ordered the Iranian ambassador to leave the country within 1 week, a rare and firm diplomatic move.
October 7, 2023, we have witnessed a number of appalling anti-Semitic attacks against Australia's Jewish community. I've made it clear that these sorts of incidents have no place in Australia, and that I wanted ASIO and the AFP to investigate as a priority. ASIO has now gathered enough credible intelligence to reach a deeply disturbing conclusion that the Iranian government directed at least 2 of these attacks.
Mass shootings are extremely rare in Australia, one of the safest countries in the world. For that reason, the Bondi tragedy has sent shockwaves across the nation, marking the deadliest shooting since 1996 when 35 people were killed at the Port Arthur tourist site in Tasmania. Nearly 3 decades have passed, yet history shows that security fractures, once exposed, can trigger consequences far beyond a single act of violence. The incident at Bondi Beach is not only a tragedy, but also a stark warning to a nation long regarded as among the safest in the world. The investigation is ongoing. Many questions remain unanswered, and as authorities follow every lead, Australia is being forced to confront a sobering reality. Even the most peaceful places can become targets. We will continue to provide updates as soon as official information becomes available. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the most important updates ahead.